Hi, Mr. Jordan, Mr. Majors. Hi, I'm Julian from Belgium. Thank you for agreeing to
Belgium.
talk to me. Hi. Big Creed fan. Got the soundtrack, got the
Nice.
Blu-rays. So I'm very excited for part three. It rocked my world. Great movie. Saw it yesterday. So
Glad,
congratulations on that.
glad you enjoyed it.
Um,
Thank you, man.
Mr. Jordan, as a first-time director, did you take any advice from your colleagues, from directors you admire?
Yes, definitely. I think starting with Ryan Coogler, all the advice that he's given me, and Stephen Capel, was another friend of mine, and obviously director of the Creed series, all the way to Denzel Washington, to Bradley Cooper, John Favreau. They all were very gracious, with information, and all gave me something different that definitely helped me my first time directing.
Great, Mr. Majors. Now you're new to the Creed franchise. Did the script allow for improv? Could you give your own spin to the material?
It was such an organic process. The script I read initially, we could have shot, word for word. It would have worked. But in the process of making it, in the process of growing the character, the relationships changing, shifting, what happens on the day. Yeah, I mean, the answer to your question is it was very lucid and very organic. If you want to say this, you just throw it in there. And the trust that was built was uh was essential for that.
That's great. That's great. Now, both Creed and Creed 2 have amazing soundtracks. Could you guys give some suggestions for part three, or was it all, let's say, outside opinions?
What do you mean?
The music
Oh, the
selection.
music.
Yeah, the soundtracks.
I thought you said sound effects. I'm sorry. I
No,
said
no, 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 soundtracks.
yeah, this is you know, help cultivating. We wanted a soundtrack, this time around that was, not like the other ones weren't, but a real reflection of the characters, and the themes and the uniqueness of this movie. And we teamed up with Dreamville, and we worked through that.
Great, great. Now, of course, I don't have to tell you guys, 2 years of cinema closures, COVID. It's a pleasure to see and experience Creed 3 as a cinema movie. I loved it. It's not a streaming movie. Why do you feel Creed 3 is a movie that really demands the biggest screen possible?
Because we shot it that way. I think we intended, and we're really grateful that cinema's coming bouncing back, and people are going out to see movies, and it's safe out there, and people are going. So it's tremendous for the movie industry. We wanted to make these fights feel bigger. We shot it in IMAX, so it'd be a shame if we didn't get a chance to see it on those screens. So to really make you feel like you're in the ring with these boxers, that you're hearing exactly what these fighters are hearing, that you can almost feel the punches. And sound design is such an amazing part of this movie, especially dealing with the ASL family, and the lack thereof sound. So you can really appreciate those moments where we really turn up the volume and really make you feel like you're right there. So being able to see this on the big screen in the movie theater is how it's supposed to be received.
Great. Well, thanks, you guys. I have to wrap it up. Sadly, I have no more time, but I want to congratulate you on the movie. It's really a pleasure. It's a future classic. So great job to
Wow.
you guys. Well done, and
Thank you.
lots of success at the box office.
Means a lot, man. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye. Hi, I'm Julian from Belgium. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You've played this character for 8 years now, three movies. Is it easy to slip back into her skin? Is it like wearing a comfortable sweater or like meeting an old friend?
It is like both those things, yeah. It's like me, it's like slipping into a comfortable sweater that your friend is also in the same sweater. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. I think there's a comfortability that Mike and I have because we've been doing this for such a long time together that I think we do slip into those roles quite seamlessly. And also, I think because he and I talk about this, that I don't know, he and I have grown in so many ways over the course of making these films, and there's always some parallels between what the characters are going through and what we're going through, and also because I think we have had so much freedom to also co-author these characters, and now Mike has directed this one. I think we get to really infuse the world with things that we understand or things that we're wrestling with or contending with. So it does feel like putting on a cozy sweater. And this one felt like taking a leap in some ways, certainly for Mike, and that was a pleasure too.
Yeah, that was my second question. So you are allowed to actually flesh out the character yourself. You are allowed to improvise a little.
We're not just allowed, I think we kind of have to. Like in the first Creed, we would rehearse with Ryan Coogler, and Ryan would take voice notes of our rehearsal. He would ask us just to play a whole scene just in improvisation. And that's actually the way I auditioned. It was fully, there was no written dialogue in any of those scenes. There were scenarios, and Mike and I would get together in our chemistry tests, and we would just improvise everything. And then when we rehearsed for the first one, we would also improvise, and then Ryan would take the voice notes and then he would integrate and write and come back with new things. And so then we would see some of our improvisations now suddenly in the script. And then in the second one, again, we worked in a similar process with Stephen Capel, where he'd be like, "What do you think? How do you want to say this?" And then in this third one, we did a ton of that, and I'm so grateful that Mike trusts me so much and allowed me to be like, "Well, take a stab at this. What do you think she would say?" And I got to write some of the speeches and figure out her trajectory, and it's just a pleasure to really feel like not just a collaborator but a co-author too.
That's great. That's great. Now, sadly, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years without cinema, thanks to COVID. I think it's a pleasure to experience Creed 3 as a cinema-only movie. It's not a streaming movie. Why do you feel Creed 3 is a movie that really demands the biggest screen possible?
Well, first of all, which is so cool, and I hadn't even realized this until recently, it's the first of its kind to be shot on an IMAX camera. It's the only box film that's ever been shot that way. I think what's so fun and fresh about this Creed is it has its own visual language. You can really see so many of Mike's influences, which are comic books and anime, and there's something really like propulsive, and the fight scenes are unlike anything I've ever seen in these kind of films, and certainly in Creed films, and you can really see those influences of his, and so seeing that on a big screen is really cool. Really, really cool. And also just, I don't know, I've been seeing so many movies in the cinema, not even movies that you like quote need to see in theaters, but just the experience of being there with an audience. It's something that I just so deeply missed. So I'm really excited about the idea that people will be coming back to the theaters. And obviously I know we're still in tough times, but the idea that people might, take the leap and come and rejoin a cinema to see our film really makes me so happy, because I know my first experiences back into the theater really felt so good. Wear a mask, but get in the theater,
True, I agree. Now, I'm a big fan of the previous one. Also, your soundtrack was amazing, so thanks for that.
Hey,
did you also have the chance to write your own songs for this third one, the songs we hear, as a producer? Your character is a producer now?
As a producer on this round, no. Because it's been very intentional, actually. The first Creed, there was this idea of Bianca really as like a in her bedroom artist, that she was totally self-produced. And one of the imperatives for Ryan Coogler is that whoever played Bianca was going to write that music and perform that music. And so that's what I did. Then the second one, we really intentionally wanted her aesthetic to have grown up some, that she was no longer just fully an indie artist. She was also becoming a pop artist. And so it was amazing to get to work with people in that space and have them write with me. So we worked in the way that a lot of pop artists work, which was you'll sit in a room and you'll talk about what you are thinking the song will be around, and you'll contribute as the artist, but the pop writer will write. And then now in this installment, there's this idea that really she has become now that pop writer. And so we needed a pop writer to come in and do that, and it's been a pleasure to sort of see her trajectory, shift, and I've gotten to understand the music industry in different ways via that.
Ms. Thompson, I have to wrap it up. Thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on Creed 3. It's a blast.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.